Okay, y'all knew it was just a matter of time, didn't you? Get a cowboy gun. You gotta get a cowboy holster and a belt. Okay, so let me get this stretched out here. I got this about a week ago, and I'm going to move some things around here. Now you can see I've got the cartridge loops in here. I've just got empty brass cases in here right now. The previous video I showed you, I've got 25 of these 45 Colts, long Colts here, all lined out. There's a reason for that. This has 25 loops in it. A friend of mine, Idaho Rogers, he was telling me that there's a reason. I said, well, geez, that's 4 reloads, and then you're going to have an extra. He says there's a reason for that extra, so I'll leave it to your imagination on that. I leave these in. I had this rolled up. As you can see, it was rolled up like this. This is stretching leather out. This is all brand new. The belt is one second. Triple K. This is style 110. It's a Wyoming drop belt in color walnut oil, plain. Then the holster is also a Triple K. It's a style 114 Cheyenne holster to go with the Cheyenne belt, walnut oil, so that they'll match. And this is for 5.5 inch barrel revolvers. People can say what they want about Triple K. I've also got Triple K holster for my GP100. This one's a thumb brake, and it works out pretty good. Now, I have not treated this. I treated this last weekend, and I'm going to do some more treatment on it this weekend. People will get leather, and the first thing they do is say, oh, it's great, it's ready to go, and they'll just use it. That's fine, but I want my leather goods to last for a long time. I've got some army boots that I treated with this Kiwi Neat's foot oil, and you see it's about empty, so I had to go on Amazon and get some more. This bottle right here is probably well over 45 years old. Yeah, I'm dating myself. But all of my military leather, I always treated it with the Neat's foot oil. And like I said, I've got some boots, some military boots that are go back in the 70s, and they still look great because I treat them with this Neat's foot oil. And it prevents the drying and cracking, and it softens and lubricates and preserves the leather. This has a little bit more shine on it, and you see just putting a little drop on there, it shines it up. I'll show you what I do with that here in a little while. I just use some, I guess you'd call them facial wipes, and some cotton swabs, and I'll take care of that. So let me get the revolver out. Oh, another thing about this, it's got snaps back here that can snap off the holster here, so you can remove the holster from the belt, and that's what I'll do. This is while I'm working on it, because it's a lot easier to work on. But leather takes a while to get seated in and get broken in. This got the leg straps, and I still haven't tied up. I'm not treating them yet. But there's a nice little sheen on here, and that's from last week's treatment. And I treat the backside on the suede here also. And then inside, you can see that the dye is already starting to get lines in it. And that's just because it was formed that way when it came. So I'll make sure I treat this really good, get it softened up. It's got the thumb loop on it. And yes, safety first. It's empty. I knew it was empty, but I want to show you just so nobody gets panicky. Same with my GP100. There. Okay. I know it was empty because I'm the only one that handles this. So if I'm the only one that handles it and I don't put anything in it and I know it's empty. So let me get all set up here and I'll show you what I do with all of this, and I'll get back to you. Okay, these cartridge loops are standing up really good now. I've taken the brass out of them, and when I first got them, they were all smashed down. They were all wiggled over to the side and everything. So what I do is I'll take some neat's foot oil. I'll just pour a little bit in the cap. You don't need a whole lot. Then I'll take my cotton swab, get some in there, and I'm putting it on the inside here. And just rub it around. There's no real technique or anything. So I'm going to do these and I'll come back. I just don't want this to be a 3-hour video, but you really want to treat your leather. And by the way, this is saddle leather. Let me turn my thing on here and I'll show you how thick this is. This belt is almost 186. So that's what? That's almost 1/4 inch. Well, no, I guess it'd be 3/16 thick. So this is pretty thick belt here, but it's well crafted. And like I say, it's triple K. No high dollar name, but you're still paying high dollar prices. Leather goods are not cheap. So let me get all of these loops done and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've done the inside of all of these loops. Now you want to do the outside. But another thing you want to do is anywhere there's stitching, you want to, and anytime you have pieces overlap, you want to get some in there. Now on top here, you can see stitching, and inside you can see cross stitching. So you want to get plenty into that hole where the stitching comes through, because what that's going to do is going to keep your stitching from pulling apart because your leather gets hard. And how many times have you had a leather good, whatever it may be, probably shoes, and the stitching pulls out? Well, this is part of the reason why. And like I say, I just go along every one of these stitches and make sure that I've got some in the hole of the leather. To stitch leather, you have to punch holes and then you run your stitching through it, unless you got a big huge machine. But even that, it punches a hole in the leather. So you want to make sure that you get plenty of neat's foot oil inside of that hole, because it'll go to the inside of that leather and it'll keep it moist, and you're less likely to pull out your stitching. Now down here on the end, again, you get another piece that's over the top. You want to make sure that you get plenty in there and in the stitching. And then you're going to work some down in here and on the outside and everything. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but this is the next step. And yeah, I'm going to run out of neat's foot oil, the Kiwi. And I bought this, I think it was like $6 or $7. This bottle right here should last me for the rest of my life. If this one here has lasted me for 40 years, so I'll be back. Okay, so I've got the outside edges, or the outside all done. You see there's oily film on everything. On this, you want to make sure you get behind here too. You see it's a little bit darker. That's the oil soaking in. I still need just a little bit more there. You see it's a lighter color. Right here, let's see, right here, I had some cracking, just from the way it's folded up. So I'm giving a lot of extra care on both sides right here, and I'll put more treatments on here. Put it on, let it soak in for about an hour, then I'll show you what to do. I'm going to also do the back side, the suede side here. I've done one treatment, and I really don't know what the black is right there. That's how it came. But I'm going to do the back side next and let it all soak in for about an hour, and I'll come back and I'll show you. Okay, believe it or not, this has been done 3 times on the suede. You still see a little bit of shiny on there, but suede is going to soak the neat's foot oil in faster than the tanned side, smooth side. And the smooth side's already been treated with dye. Also, I ran out of the kiwi, so I had to open up this new bottle. I paid a lot of attention here along the stitching. This is where the cartridge loops are. This is where your 2 pieces come together, and I put a lot of care into that. And also down here where this connects together. So next, I'll show you what else I do. Oh, also anywhere you've got wear points, that'd be the edges. Those are wear points. You're always going to be snagging something on above or below. And where your holster goes in through the slot here, that's a wear point, and anywhere around here, and including inside that slot. Also on your buckle, on your belt for your buckle, you want to get that really good and get all these eyes. Okay, I showed you those 25 cartridges. They were all loaded up. There, now they're in there. Oh, Jerry, you've got them upside down. They're going to fall out. No, really, they're not going to fall out. These are pretty tight. But remember when I first started, I had the empty casings. You don't want to push an empty casing, especially since these have been chamfered. These are all prepped and everything. You don't want to push an empty casing through the loops, but you need to have some kind of cartridge in there. Now these are still a little tight. If you do that, you're going to chew up your leather without a bullet here. So you want to have those in there, and I'll show you why I have the empty casings in here, because I'm going to be using heat here shortly, and I really don't want live ammunition exposed to a lot of heat. And there's another reason for this too. So let me change out all these and put the empty casings back in, and I'll be right back. Okay, next step is to cook that oil in. This is actually this is a deluxe heat gun. I used to build and fly radio-controlled airplanes. This thing looks like crap too. It needs to be cleaned up. The monocoat, the coating, polyester coating on it, we'd use a heat gun to stretch it and tighten it up. So you could use a hair dryer for this, and I've got this on the lowest setting here. So give me a second to get this warmed up, and I'll show you what it starts doing. There's a reason to have this brass in here, because I can get that brass hot, and it'll bake the inside of each one of these loops. And it gets really shiny. I don't know if you can see that or not. And a lot of that is the dye in the leather. It's starting to boil out a little bit, but it's also being mixed in with the neat's foot oil. Okay, so this gets really shiny. And I want to do the top too. I want to make sure I get the back side of the leather really good. Now this boils the stuff out, but you're heating the leather, you're opening the pores and allowing this to get back in. It's like if you take a hot steamy shower, you're opening your pores of your body. And leather is the same as what the human skin is, it's a lot thicker. And some people have thinner skin than others, but that's another story. But anyway, so I'm just heating this up, and again, I'm getting the brass hot, and it's doing the inside of these loops. Remember, that was one of the first places I started putting the neat's foot oil, was inside the loops. So I'm opening up the pores, and I'm allowing that oil to get into those pores a little bit deeper. You can see it's getting really shiny everywhere I'm hitting it with the heat. And a lot of that, like I say, is the dyes. that they use for the leather. Now, once I let this cool, this will soak back in. I'm just going to do this one little stretch because it's really critical. It's really critical around these cartridge loops. These are going to be the most problem of the whole belt. Well, other than the holster, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm just going to heat this for a little bit more. I'm not going to get it too hot. Again, like I said, I've got this on the lowest setting, so it's probably putting out 150, 180 degree heat. And you could use a hair dryer if you wanted. Alright, so I'm going to let this cool and I'll come back and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so I've heated the whole thing. I paid a lot of extra attention to this cracking here. I don't know if you can see it now, but boy, that cracking is starting to go away really well. So I'll keep treating this and heating it over the next couple of weeks. It takes a while to break in leather and get it treated right. I still have to do the back side, the suede side. It's pretty well soaked in, so I need to treat it one more time. I got cases all over the place here. And again, along these stitch lines, along this drop leg part and inside the slit, around the stitching. I'll treat this one more time. Then I'm going to treat the holster. Basically do the same thing again. Get down inside here, and of course the suede, and here where it's cracking, just like the other one was just like the belt was cracking. It's doing the same thing here. I can get this worked out. It just takes a little time. Then always, when you first get your leather product, keep your firearm in there. I was reading through the Triple K instructions here. It says good leather stretches slightly with prolonged use. Since Triple K's leathers are the finest, well, okay, that could be up for debate, but I've never had any problem with Triple K. We've allowed the natural expansion of the holster body by tightening the fit during molding, bonding, and stretching of our leathers. A secure, safe fit is therefore always assured. Now, the secure, safe fit, yeah, I mean this isn't coming out. So it's not going to be anything for quick draw. Maybe in several months, but you can continue to drop this in, pull it out, drop it in. But when you put it away, keep your firearm in there for the first I don't know, month or so, maybe 2 months. I have not treated this one, and it's still pretty tight. That'll be the next thing I do, is treat this inside and out. They've molded it for the revolver anyway, and I just want to make sure that I get it treated, get all this stitching leather done along the edges, all my wear points along the leg, around the belt loop, and things like that. I want to make sure that I get this treated well. If you take good care of your leather, it'll take care of you, and you will have many, 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 many years of use out of it. Now, these cartridges, these cases, I should say, they're starting to slide a little bit better. You don't want to put these in without a bullet guide. You saw that I just stuck 25 bullets in here and then just stuck those over the top of the bullet and pushed down. If you try to put an empty case in here, it will scratch up your leather, and you could scratch up your belt and things like that, and that would be permanent. So you really want to do it the way I showed you. Now, some of these are still pretty tight, and this brass is still pretty warm from this heat gun. I keep working them whenever I can. I'll heat these up again. see if I can't loosen up that leather just a little bit more. I'm going to treat these one more time. They're already feeling really nice and soft. I mean, this whole leather feels so much better, more supple than what it did when I first got it. So around my wear points, these cracking areas, around my loops, and on the tongue of the belt, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put some more on the suede side, on the back side. Just wanted to show you this. Hopefully I'll get out to the range pretty soon and we'll see how this thing works. Not as a fast draw, but just basically as a holder of the revolver. I've got a fairly substantial financial investment in this. When you look at almost $100 for a belt and almost $100 for a holster, I mean, that's not cheap. This one right here, I think I paid $68 for it, and it's just a simple holster with the thumb brake on it. And but I don't like to, if I've got a firearm, I want to be able to carry it around with me. So this was necessary to carry my GP 100. That's one that's going to be with me a lot during the camping. Same with this Ruger Vaquero when I go camping, fishing, things like that. I mean, okay, I just dropped things. I'm pretty sure that this will take care of a bear. So that's about it. I'm going to keep working on this, and I hope all of you have a chance to treat your leather. Oh, and my everyday carry holster is a DeSantis leather holster. It's inside the waistband, and I carried appendix. So last week, after I got this, I broke out the neat's foot oil. Well, I found the neat's foot oil finally. Broke everything out and started getting all set up. I decided I better treat that one because it had never been treated. Same with this one, it's never been treated, but it will now. And hopefully all of my leather goods will outlast me, which may not be that hard. Who knows? Nobody gave me an expiration date. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope some of this helped.